There are moments in a parent's life that never fade. They don't just stay in memory, they settle deep in the soul. This is the story of one such moment. A true story that changed something inside me and showed me that sometimes children understand far more than we expect, often without needing to say much. It was late, just past midnight, when I found myself downstairs, folding laundry, trying to finish before going to bed. My husband, Mark, had already retreated to our bedroom hours ago, and the house was peaceful, except for the quiet hum of the washing machine. I had this habit of folding everyone's clothes separately, stacking them neatly, and leaving them outside their doors. It was a little ritual that made me feel in control, even on the days when life felt anything. But that night, I was more tired than usual. My eyelids drooped as I pushed open a door I thought led to the guest room, a stack of clean t-shirts in my hands. But the room wasn't the guest room at all. It was Liam's, my stepson, 19, tall and awkwardly handsome, still navigating adulthood. And there he was, lying on his bed, completely naked, his hands moving slowly, almost hesitantly, across himself. I froze, breath caught in my throat. He didn't hear me come in. His focus was absolute. His expression, a mixture of frustration and embarrassment. Why does it still curve like this? He muttered under his breath. I should have turned around, shut the door, and walked away. But something held me back. A mix of shame, curiosity, and an unexpected ache I hadn't felt in years. I slipped back just enough to watch without being seen. His body was beautiful, but his uncertainty made him vulnerable. The curve he hated was unlike anything I'd ever noticed before. Thick, strong, but bent at an odd angle that made him grimace. Suddenly, he groaned and threw his head back against the pillow. This is why girls laugh, he whispered. And then he saw me. His eyes went wide with horror as he scrambled for a pillow to cover himself, his face burning red. Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were. I thought this was the guest room. I stammered, holding the shirts awkwardly. We stood there, breathless, the silence heavy between us. And then something inside me shifted. I stepped into the room and closed the door behind me. You don't need to be embarrassed, I said softly. I'm a woman, too, Liam. He looked confused, his eyes searching mine. I sat down on the bed beside him, my heart pounding. You said the curve bothers you. He nodded. Girls think it's weird. I hesitated, then reached out my hand, gently resting it on his thigh. Maybe I can help you. His breath hitched, eyes widening. Slowly, he lowered the pillow. I touched him softly, trying to be clinical, but my fingers trembled. There was warmth, vulnerability, and a strange pull I couldn't explain. It's not ugly, I whispered. It's beautiful. He looked at me like I was the first person to tell him that. In that moment, the air changed. It was no longer about helping. It was about something deeper, something forbidden. We didn't go further that night, but everything had already shifted. I told myself I wouldn't go back to that room. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw Liam, his nervous glance, the way he looked at me with a mix of confusion and longing. Nights were the hardest. Mark slept peacefully, unaware that my heart was no longer in our bed, but somewhere down the hall. When Liam finally spoke about that night, over breakfast, his voice was quiet but steady. About the other night. You don't have to explain, I whispered, though my mind raced. He sighed, the weight of self-consciousness clear in his eyes. I've always felt like I was different, like my body was a joke. My heart ached. Here was this young man, strong and capable on the surface, but fragile. Underneath. Liam, I said, there's nothing wrong with you. He looked at me, hope flickering. You said you could help.
I
Froze. Maybe we should forget it.
It's
Not right. He nodded, but sadness lingered.
that.
Night, Mark went out with friends.
The
House was quiet, too quiet. I found myself standing outside Liam's door. Again, heart pounding.
come in, he said softly.
He was sitting on the bed. Shirt on this time, but the vulnerability was the same. I shouldn't be here, I whispered. But you are.
We
Didn't speak much. Just looked at each other. Two people caught in a moment too big for words. I can't stop thinking about that night, he admitted.
me
Neither. His voice broke the silence and then he stepped closer. Can I hold you? I nodded, overwhelmed by the honesty.
he
Wrapped his arms around me gently and I felt a comfort I hadn't known I missed. It was wrong, but it felt so right, like coming home. He pulled back slightly, eyes searching mine. You make me feel
whole.
you always were, I whispered.
Our
Lips met in a kiss, soft and slow, full of confusion and raw emotion. When we parted, breathless, we both knew the line had been crossed. We didn't go further that night. We just held hands, whispered secrets, and shared the closeness that neither of us had expected. But the desire simmered beneath the surface, dangerous and undeniable. The morning after, I tried to pretend nothing had changed. I brewed coffee, cleaned, kept busy, but every quiet moment was filled with Liam's touch, his voice, the way he looked at me.
Mark
Kissed me goodbye, unaware of the storm inside me. That evening, he left early for work, leaving the house empty. I sat on the couch, telling myself not to move. But my legs betrayed me, carrying me to Liam's door again. He lay on the bed,
headphones on, eyes closed.
When he saw me, his expression shifted, hope and fear tangled together. I shouldn't be here,
But you are.
we didn't rush.
Each
Touch was slow, deliberate, full of aching emotion. He whispered, I've never felt this way before. I closed my eyes and whispered back, take your
time.
make it count. In his arms, I felt seen, not as a wife or a stepmother, but as a woman.
And for a
Moment, nothing else mattered.
but
Secrets don't stay hidden. One rainy Thursday, Mark came home early, drenched and tired. I was caught stepping out of Liam's room, my robe slipping loosely. Time froze. I was just checking on him. I stammered. Mark's eyes searched mine, but he said nothing more. Relief washed over me. Or maybe it was denial. That night, I lay awake, heart pounding. What if he knew? What if everything I tried to hide slipped away? Liam was distant, texting me that maybe we should stop, but my heart wasn't ready. We took risks, whispered kisses in the dark, stolen moments, but the weight of guilt was always there. The night we forgot to lock the door, Mark almost caught us. Our secret was no longer safe.
that
Morning, the house felt colder.
Mark's
Eyes were full of questions he didn't.
voice.
Liam was quiet, shadows under his
Eyes.
I knew one thing. Nothing would ever be the same. Some desires come at too high a price.